Welcome back to the channel. This is Gillis TV here on Clemhawks, and today we're talking about the Minnesota Twins. And you guys might be like, hey, wait, isn't Clem the Minnesota Twins guy? He is, but it's American Thanksgiving for him. I'm in Canada. I don't celebrate American Thanksgiving up here. So for today, I'm bringing you guys the Twins news. If you are new to the channel, we're almost, we're trying to hit that 5,000 subtotal by the end of the year. If you're into MLB news, rumors, NHL news, rumors, anything sports realistically, you'll find it here on the channel. And thank you guys so much for your support over at the late. I'm mumbling here. Don't know why. Probably just woke up. I was up watching the World Cup all night. But let's get started. As last offseason, the Minnesota Twins decided, hey, we're gonna go out and get an all-star shortstop who was drafted first round back in the day, or first overall back in the day, in Carlos Correa. We're gonna sign him to a 3-year deal. He has an opt-out after year one. So good, and keep on going from there. Well, let's simulate through the season, and now we're off season a year later. Carlos Correa opts out of his contract. Well, talking with Clem, I kind of agree with this. Reports out there are Minnesota Twins have offered multiple contracts to Carlos Correa. Now, I'm sitting here, I'm not, I don't watch the Twins every day like Clem, but don't the Twins have a guy in Royce Lewis coming up who was selected first overall in 2017, who, got into 40 at bats in 12 games this past season and did pretty good, I would say, for his big league entrance. Well, why would the Twins try and go after Carlos Correa again? You got this phenomenal young guy in Royce Lewis coming up your pipe right now in your system, and you still want to go and try and sign Carlos Correa, the guy that just opted out of his contract with you guys, making north of $20 million a year? I'm sorry, but that's a little bit of a head scratcher for me. And I know Clem himself is like, this is stupid. Why are they going after a guy like Carlos Correa, who you just had, who just opted out of his contract, and you got a talented young star coming up from AAA? There's no doubt in my mind he should be in at the MLB next season, in Royce Lewis. It's just a little bit of a head scratcher if you kind of think about it. So let's get to the article. We'll look at stats. We'll discuss the article some more and see where we go from there. Arguably, the biggest question for the Twins this offseason is how they'll address shortstop. Minnesota's shocking spring training signing of Carlos Correa solved the position for the 2022 campaign. But it's again up in the air after the two-time All-Star opted out of his final 2 years of his contract. That's Correa's now back on the open market, puts Minnesota in competition with the league for his services. Twins ownership and front office have spoken out about their desire to bring him back, although they're up against traditionally bigger spenders unlike last offseason, when the former first overall pick settled for a 3-year guaranteed to secure the highest per year salary for free agent position players in MLB history. He expected to command a long term this winter. During the recent appearance on the Talk North podcast, Minnesota's proposal ranged from 6 to 10 years with differing averages salaries in each. The shorter terms would surely feature a higher annual payout, with the comparatively lesser length reducing the team's longer term risk. Financially, teams. Well, I messed this up. Financial terms of the proposals aren't clear, but it's notable Minnesota is willing to make a long-term commitment to play at the top of the market. The Twins signed Joe Mauer to an 8-year, $184 million extension in March of 2010, but have otherwise only reached or nearly exceeded a nine-figure guarantee twice, 105.3 million for Correa and 100 million for Byron Buxton both last offseason. A career a Correa deal of 6+ years would almost certainly set a new high water mark for the organization, even if the contract contained one or more opt-out clauses or opt-out chances. Correa is the number 2 free agent of the winter in MLB. TR is predicted for a 9-year deal worth $288 million heading into his age 28 campaign. He's still the youngest of the 4 top open market options at the shortstop position. Dansby Swanson is going into his age 29 season, while Turner and Bogaerts will each spend most of the next season at 30 years old. Correa narrowly led the group with a .467 slugging mark this past season, while Bogaerts finished first with a .377 on-base percentage. On a rate basis, Correa was top offensive player for this position, but battled with COVID-19 kept him to 590 plate appearances this past season. While retaining Correa's figures to be the Twins' ideal course of action, Neal relays that Bogaerts would be Minnesota's second target. Dan Hayes of The Athletic similarly suggests earlier this month that the Twins were likely to pivot to longtime Red Sox star if Correa were to land somewhere else. Boston has consistently maintained a desire to keep Bogaerts, while he's also drawn some reported interest from the Phillies. The Twins acquired Kyle Farmer from the Reds last week, at least mitigating the need to dip into the lower tier of free agents if they come up empty on their pursuit of the top 4 shortstops. Farmer's a competent defender coming off a .255 average showing during his final season in Cincinnati. His presence raises the floor at the position, but he's certainly capable of assuming a utility role off the bench if the Twins make an impact move. Minnesota presently projects a 2023 payroll around $98 million per roster resource. They have just over $19 million in guaranteed commitments by 2024. Minnesota opened this past season with a player spending a bit above $134 million according to Cots baseball contracts. There's pretty clear flexibility to make a significant investment at shortstop position, although the front office will have to weigh that course of action against their desire to upgrade in the bullpen, behind the dish, and the corner outfielders / DH mix. Sorry, that was a long article and I kind of butchered it a little bit. But I agree, like, if they are going to go for a shortstop, why go with the guy that just kind of said, hey, I'm leaving, bye? Why would you still go after him? I get he wants a longer term deal, but he signed a 3-year deal with you, and he opted out. I believe he wants to go somewhere like LA, New York, somewhere where the team's already in, hey, we can win this now mode. And I believe Phillies are one of them, yes, without Bryce Harper for, majority of the season to the All-Star break. Carlos Correa could change that Phillies roster, but that's a whole different section there. But you also have Royce Lewis, and it said you need to upgrade behind the plate, your outfielders, and your bullpen. Well, I know a team that, is open to trading a catcher. It's my favorite team, but maybe there's something brewing there with, a trade with the Toronto Blue Jays. It's possible. Not going to say it's not, but it's not probably going to happen right now. But at the same time, let's get back to Carlos Correa. Yes, he was a 2021 Gold Glove winner. Yes, you can upgrade, but you got Royce Lewis coming down the pipeline right now. I don't know why you wouldn't just give him a chance. I know you want to upgrade that position then, but Carlos Correa is probably not the answer right now. And let's go look at the stats for Carlos Correa. as he had 522 at-bats last season with a 291 average, 22 home runs, 64 RBIs, no stolen bases. So his average was up. He did hit a bit of the long ball and whatnot for the Minnesota Twins. But you look at Royce Lewis, 40 at-bats. I know it's a small sample size, don't get me wrong. But a 300 average, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and an OPS of 867. I'm sorry, but I'm taking the up-and-coming Royce Lewis over Carlos Correa right now. Just for the fact that he's younger. He is 5 years younger, and he needs to develop. You can't have him developing sitting on the bench or playing in AAA. He needs to be in the big leagues now. But hey, let me know in the comments what you think the Twins should do, and I'll catch you on the next one.